Welcome to the podcast.
A totally human experience.
I'm Logan,
I'm Aiden.
And I'm Nikon.
and this is a podcast where we are totally humans and not immortals.
Immortals? Why are we talking about immortals?
Well, today we're going to be talking some hypothetical situations, such as our first one, would you accept immortality or not? So, let's begin. To start off, would you accept immortality if it was offered to you, or would you deny it? For me personally, I would totally accept immortality. I mean, being able to live forever, death is like one of the human's greatest fears. I would accept it.
I would accept as well. For same reasons as Nikon, and also just thinking like the amount of good one could do in the world if one could accumulate vast amounts of wealth over multiple lifespans to be able to spend that wealth on things that could help other people. Like, it's just there's so many opportunities to help others.
Logan?
There are a lot of cons to immortality too, though. There's the whole you're gonna have to watch your loved ones grow old and die while you stay young and all that, and that sucks. But there's also you just can't put down roots for more than a decade at most.
How so?
The world is not going to be very receiving to someone being immortal, I feel like.
I
But-
can see that.
Also, I just feel like the best of both worlds would not be immortality, but permanence.
Well, the hypothetical
Just a
situation
lack
is
of change.
immortality. So, would you accept immortality, including living for all of eternity and past eternity? So, yeah, that would definitely run into the issues you mentioned. My biggest thing with that is I feel like if you're immortal, you could probably get past most of the issues. Your loved one's dying, kind of sucks, but you can get over it. And in the end, having loved ones die is just a fact of life. You have to experience it, whether immortal or not. And if you're truly immortal, you will probably find a way to cope with it all eventually.
Yeah. One of the biggest cons I feel like of immortality is also the potential harm that you could accidentally even do if you don't like realize, and because if you do something and you don't think it has a negative effect but in the end it does, and you've been doing that for hundreds of years that you've been alive, it could have like huge consequences.
Yeah, imagine if you've actually been like burning petrol in your backyard for all of eons, and now you have to live in a world post climate change. Fun.
Yeah, very fun.
I do see the reasoning in choosing to accept the immortality, but I don't know. I just don't want to be forced to have my only way off of the world be ending it myself, you know?
Although, immortality, as the question implies, you probably wouldn't even be able to kill yourself. You'd probably have to sit in space for billions of years just floating around at the heat death of the universe. Because true immortality means you physically can't die.
Okay, in that case, I'm definitely saying no.
Does that change your opinion, Aiden?
No, because I kind of thought that we were talking about true immortality the entire time, not the, I don't know, more used definition of immortality, which is just that you can't die of old age. I still think that being immortal, I could do so much good for others and help so many other people that it outweighs the cost of, you know, after a few millennia or so, me just like suffering for all of eternity after that, because it's just me suffering for all of eternity, and I can handle that. I couldn't handle like me not taking the opportunity to help other people whenever I could have.
The way I see it, no amount of negative effects could outweigh the positive effects done. If I get to live a life and I get to experience all that there is to experience and be happy with that, then that is more important than having to sit around for the whole of eternity and longer, sitting in space, thinking about things. Along with that, infinity does not exist. Eventually, someday, billions, trillions, quadrillions, due to zillions of years down the line, I will someday float to some kind of alien civilization, some kind of actual intelligent life, and I'll be able to become a god.
There's an icon. Achieving his dreams of godhood.
Already achieved it, baby.
Okay.
Didn't that happen like billions of years ago, though?
Yeah, but always go for a second round, you know? So, 2 votes for yes immortality, 1 vote for no. Are there any other remarks we'd like to make?
I think that sums it up.
Logan, are there any other remarks you'd like to make on the comments made?
Not really. I just find it kind of funny and fitting how each of us chose the way we did.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Second hypothetical situation. You have 24 hours to play any video game. Any money you make in it is converted into real life money. Which game do you play?
That's easy. Cookie clicker.
Do you make money in Cookie Clicker? I thought you
No,
make
you make
cookies.
cookies.
I
And
feel
the
like
cookies count as the money.
having a trillion cookies though gets weird. But also that does raise a question. Do we consider like because you don't get a trillion rupees if you choose Zelda. You get a trillion like dollars. So do we consider the cookies and Cookie Clicker dollars?
Well, they are
Yeah.
currency.
It's currency, so it's money.
How much could you actually make in 24 hours?
If you're constantly playing, constantly clicking, theoretically, you could probably get like if you can get to the ascension point like within 2 hours, you could end up making probably a few trillion.
Now here's the issue. How fast would you collapse the world economy?
I wouldn't.
We-
I would just see the question is, are we putting the money like directly into the system, like, or is it giving us money that's already in the system?
I would assume you would be paid by some mysterious benefactor.
So
How
the
much-
money is already in the system.
How much money does that person have, though?
That
Because
the
is that
question.
person printing that money? Is the money legal?
Okay, these are good questions. Also, another concern to be raised with the cookie clicker method is
How many dollars is a cookie?
right, and also Ascension removes all of your cookies. So does it remove all the money, or does it count the money pre-Ascension?
Well, here's the issue. You can buy things with the cookies, right?
Yes,
How many dollars is a grandma
Like,
that's fair.
in real life? Because we can find a conversion rate that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How many dollars to buy a grandma here in the US?
Wait. Better yet, how many grandmas to buy a mouse? You know, because it's a cursor. That's the first one.
Oh.
How many dollars to buy that? I feel like that's our question.
Your original question was how many grandmas to buy a mouse, and I feel like that raises worse implications.
More what?
You said how many grandmas to buy a mouse.
That's not what I meant to say. I
Yeah.
meant to say how many cookies.
Yeah, so how many cookies to buy a mouse? But are you buying a mouse or buying the clicker? Okay, this is getting beyond the point. Okay, so we already established Cookie Clicker is a really good game.
Yes.
$2 trillion. I think some other idle games like Adventure Capitalist could be interesting.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would play Gimkit.
Oh yeah, I would play
yeah.
Gimkit too. I would too.
That works
Here-
so well.
Like any Gimkit would work, but
For those who don't know, I am like really, really good at Gimkit for some reason. It's like an educational game site, but for some reason I always dominate everyone. I make like millions when second place at like 500,000.
it's like he has this strategy. It works very well, and he just knows like the timing to do it better than I do. I'm always in second place behind him or third place.
So I think, but other idle games like Adventure Capitalist, Gimkit, me personally, I would probably choose something like,
What's that one like the Idle Mine or like the game
I
where
know
you
what you're
like
talking about.
what's it called?
The thing is, I think we should outlaw idle games because they're all the same and they're all absolutely busted.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would choose Risk of Rain. A super looping run that only takes like 2 hours, you could be making millions. So I think that's a pretty good choice.
How many days of Stardew Valley can you get through in 24 hours?
I think speedrunners get it through in like a few hours, but that's just to the issue is Stardew Valley actually has a pretty good economy. Like even getting a few 100,000 is kind of difficult, even if you're in like your 6th year.
Right.
So I feel like Stardew Valley just isn't the best option. It is a good option if you just want to have fun though.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was just thinking. My Little Universe. You make money in that.
Oh, you make
Yeah.
tons of money in that.
How much do you actually make though?
Depends. Are we counting every single item as
No.
currency?
The money, I would assume.
Well, theoretically, it takes about 24 hours to beat the entire game. Are we doing the money that you still have at the end of the game, or the money that you
Money
made
that
over
you
the?
still have.
Okay.
You know,
Theoretically, if you saved as much money as you could across the entire game, you could have over 1 billion coins.
I chump change when you think about the other options.
you know, a Vampire Survivors greed one or greed run could be absolutely broken for this.
Oh my god, you know that broken run of Vampire Survivors? So one time, I on Vampire Survivors, which insta kills everything on the map, and I got a game where I was just able to get that to activate every 0.1 seconds, and I made so much money that it broke the counter. I think over 9 million, but it said 9999999, which means I had definitely more than that. So that could be another option to easily get some money because that was within 2 hours. So you could definitely make a lot more money.
If you just do that 12 times, you've got $120 million.
Yeah.
And you made more than that, you said, in 2 hours, right?
Yeah, quite a bit more.
How much would you say more? What do you know at what point during your run you hit that mark?
It was I probably hit that. The issue is it doesn't show the money when you actually reach the cap. But I probably reached that much hour 50 in-ish.
So you had 10 minutes where you were just making money past the limit.
Yeah.
How much money do you think you would have made?
That's a good question. It was a while ago.
$500,000 maybe?
But I've bought in so many upgrades that are more than $50,000, and my money's still at the cap. It hasn't moved down at all. It just won't change. So
that could be an option. You could get 200 million from that.
But obviously, the best contenders are probably still going to be the idle games because they're meant to be big number simulators.
Right. Cookie Clicker, probably one of the best because you can literally get into the hundreds of.
I still think Adventure Capitalist is probably a little bit better.
I've never played that game. I've never heard of it, so I don't know.
Watched it. You can get into imaginary numbers almost. But I think idle game is going to be the best options. Whichever one you pick doesn't matter. You're breaking the economy either way.
Yeah.
So next hypothetical situation. You have 1,000 pills. One of them kill you. The rest of them give you $5,000. How many, if any, do you eat?
I eat the first 37%.
How so?
Well, because according to some complex math in a research paper that I recently read, apparently if you do the first 37% of something, you have a good chance of getting the things that you want. Although I guess in this case, we don't want that one thing.
The thing is, 37%, that's 370 pills.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, you'd be risking it. 370 pills would give you $1,050,000.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. In order to get just 1 million, you have to eat 200 pills. However, that would give you about a 20% chance to die.
I'd do it. I'd do 200 pills. I think that's around where I'd stop, though. Between 200 and 400 would be around where I would stop.
I think if I ate any of the pills, I'd eat less than 10.
Less than 10?
Honestly?
It gives him a 99% chance of surviving.
I'm kind of here with Logan. To me, I think my biggest expense in the near future is probably going to be college, and that's not going to cost $1 million. I think the amount of a difference between like 100,000 and $1 million versus 0 and 100,000 is different. I think getting that first 100,000 or so, which is only 20 pills, would be satisfying versus going all the way to 200 and having a much, much higher chance of dying just for a bit more money.
I actually agree with that. I wasn't thinking. I was just thinking in terms of like absolute, like absolute getting as much as I could, but I don't need that much money.
And you kind of need your life.
Yeah, I do kind of need my life in order to spend that money.
It's a bit important.
So honestly, I'd probably have like maybe 25.
Now, here's the thing. Let's say I have a family going, right? I'm going to get a funnel and pour all of them down because that's like the best life insurance you can get.
You know,
You're just eat all of them to give your family the money.
$5 million to set my kids up for life.
Oh,
Okay?
you are so right.
In this economy, it might be the best option.
Hey, Nikon? There's one thing you gotta make sure you do first. Gotta make sure you raise some decent kids, otherwise they're gonna blow it all on stupid stuff.
Ooh, here's an idea. What if, let's say we have this deal, we all get together, we each take one pill at a time. Once one of us dies, the others take the rest of the pills and then donate a bunch to your funeral and your family. It's a sacrifice for the greater good. Think about that.
I didn't even get to explain why I would eat so few pills.
Yeah, no. Okay, go on.
The fact is that they're drugs. If you ate too many, you would die anyway.
No, because I feel like they're just sugar pills. Because I'm assuming the pills aren't making you grow money out of your flesh. I'm assuming there's some mysterious benefactor giving you the money. And also some mysterious benefactor shooting you in the head. Or they lace it with cyanide, who knows?
Even if they are sugar pills, though, sugar's technically a drug, so you're still
you
getting
wanna be
Diabetes.
pedantic.
It's either you get high and you die, or diabetes.
Look,
and you die.
It could be saline pills for all we know. To be honest, everything is a drug. We have constant chemicals in our brains that are drugs, okay? You can't avoid doing drugs. We're all doing drugs right now.
We're doing drugs by the fact that we're alive. Dopamine exists.
Good that you clarified that.
Serotonin, melatonin, all these things exist, okay? We're all drug addicts.
Testosterone.
Is that
another one? Melatonin. Did you say melatonin?
Are hormones drugs?
I think they're different.
Yeah, I think no.
You said melatonin.
Yeah,
That's a hormone. So is dopamine. Dopamine is a hormone.
Okay, sorry. I was just asking a question.
But they're also kind of drugs, I think.
Okay, here's a twist on that. What if the pills gave you $500 per instead of 5,000? That means the maximum amount you can make is only 500,000 instead of 5 million.
You'd have to eat what?
All 1,000 pills to get 500,000.
No, but to get 100,000, you'd have to eat 250. No.
To go 100,000, you'd have to be 200. 200
Honestly,
pills just to get 100,000.
I think I'd eat the same amount.
110?
Yeah.
Understandable. I mean, 10 already gives you 5,000. That's still a really, really good amount. That could at least buy half of a Nintendo Switch 2.
I'd eat 20. I'd still eat 20, like I said earlier, 20 or 25. Because I'm still getting like $10,000 to $15,000 or whatever.
20 would give you 10,000. 20, right?
25 will give me 12,500.
Yeah. I feel like 20 is the best option. I stand by 20. Because
sweet spot.
I feel like getting that 10,000 mark, probably ideal. And you don't have that high a chance of dying.
Yeah, because 10,000, that pays for an entire year of college, man.
Now, here's a twist on it. What if each pill gave you a penny and one of them gave you a stomachache?
I'd eat them all.
I'd eat them all.
You'd get a stomachache for $9.
Oh wait, it's only $9.
Stomachaches aren't that bad. I'd be fine.
Is it really only $9?
I'm pretty sure $9.99.
Wait, it's a cent per pill?
Mm-hmm. So it's 9.99 pills. Because one of them gives you stomachache. Here's the thing, I get really
Yeah,
bad
you're getting like
stomachaches.
you're getting like $10, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't take $10 for a stomachache. I get really bad stomachaches.
My stomach aches are usually just me feeling sort of rumbly in my stomach because I didn't eat lunch.
When
So
I'm talking about stomachache, I'm talking about curling up in a ball while you're sitting on your bed.
I wouldn't take it at all. I wouldn't eat a single one of those pills, man. A single one, because a stomach ache is worse than death, especially when it's the ones that make your stomach feel like it's eating itself.
Personally, I would eat one because I'm a gambling man.
my stomach
Just to
feels
play
like
the odds.
my
No other
stomach
reason.
feels like it's eating itself when I don't eat lunch. So yeah, I'm still eating them all.
All right. Well,
It's $10. I don't. It's still $10 in exchange for a stomachache. Yeah, that's fine.
fascinating result. And
Before we go on to the next situation, I want to talk about our word of the day. Now, we all have that one friend in our life who just knows how to deal with people. They can go to a party, make 5 new friends, and get a wedding invitation. That's what we like to call eloquence. And the definition of eloquence, the ability to beautifully express oneself, mirrors that perfectly. So, now you know the definition of eloquence. Maybe you can be the eloquent friend at the next party you go to and get invited to that big wedding. On to the next hypothetical situation.
for the fourth one, I have you are given an endless candle and a realistic genie lamp. If the candle goes out, you die. Plans? The idea is by realistic genie lamp, I'm talking about you aren't going to be able to say, I wish for omnipotence or anything. No, but you are going to be able to realistically get any material you want that is real and within reason.
Okay. How would the
I'm con-
candle go out if it's endless? That's my first question.
Because the candle, okay, it's not an endless candle per se. It's more so a candle, like, it won't go out by just burning itself out. But if a stiff breeze hits it, you're dead.
Oh, okay.
Easy. Ask for something to contain the candle, and that way it will never go out.
You just took away oxygen from the candle and now it's gone out.
Yeah, you can't get airtight or else it will
Okay.
burn off
So
all
we
the
have 3
oxygen.
wishes,
I
right?
didn't say it was
Yes.
airtight.
I mean, no, because you said container, right?
Yeah.
Assuming it's not airtight, then you have the risk of something blowing it out, right?
I just like just some sort of glass jar with like holes poked through. I don't know.
I mean, that could work. The issue is when that candle is your lifeline, you gotta protect it a lot.
Okay, we get 3 wishes from the genie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would wish for a cardboard box, a box cutter, and tape.
Okay, you couldn't have just bought in some of those and used your wishes for like endless wealth?
No, I'm broke, for 1. And for 2,
You
I thought it would be funnier if I used the genie.
okay? So what's your plan?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke holes in this cardboard box. And I'm going to cover half of the hole, like, it's going to be a relatively large hole, and I'm going to cover half of it with tape so that there isn't too much airflow. And then I'm just going to leave the candle under the cardboard box, and I'm going to constantly watch the cardboard box to make sure no one pushes it over.
What if the candle sets the box on fire?
It's big enough so that the candle doesn't touch it.
Now, what if the heat causes it to denature itself?
What?
To like, collapse? Because I feel like the heat, constant heat, is not going to be great for the cardboard box. I guess there's airflow, so it wouldn't get too hot. It depends on how big the holes you're poking.
I was thinking like 2 centimeter holes. I was thinking like
Yeah.
1 on each side and like 4 on the top, and then half covered with tape so that there's not too much airflow.
Now, how are you going to go anywhere?
I won't. Actually, wait, it's a cardboard box. It's inside the cardboard box. So I just carry the cardboard box around with me.
You think airport security is going to be careful with it?
I'm not gonna go fly on an airplane. I'm just gonna be like the standard like millennial and just sit around in my home watching TV all the time, going to my job.
I still think you should have used your wishes better, man.
Why bring the box with you at all? Did it ever specify that you had to have the candle with you at all times?
It is not
No,
specified
but
that,
I'm
no,
keeping it
but
with me to make sure nothing happens to it.
yeah, I feel like you both have cats.
Security cameras.
You both have
Cats
cats.
exist.
Get rid of the cats.
Also-
No, I will never get rid of my kitties.
Also,
Then lock your box away so where no one can reach it.
also
not even
security
the
cameras aren't going to
cats.
help. By the time you'd be able to review the footage, you ought to be dead because they knock over the candle.
Yep.
Leather
Okay, what was the
traps.
second question
You
thingy?
have to be able to replace the candle every 24 hours because it runs out every 24 hours. How does that
Hey.
change things?
I'm gonna start myself a candle shop. Oh, do I get 3 new wishes for this one?
Yeah, no. You can answer the question however you want.
Okay, well, assuming I get 3 new wishes, I'm asking for $1 billion.
Obviously.
I'm asking for... Actually, I don't know what else I'm asking for.
Another $1 billion.
Actually, no. Scratch that. I'm asking for $1 billion. I'm asking for the entire world supply of candles and all future candle business. Essentially, I'm asking to have a monopoly on candles. And I'm asking for control of the entire world's wax production.
Okay.
Wait, can I have multiple candles burning at once?
No. It's one specific candle with this property.
Dang it.
I would just wish for infinite candles and lit each candle on the previous candle.
You can't wish for infinite candles, can you? Because infinity isn't possible.
I mean, you can wish for a large number of candles, but even if you wish for a large number of candles, only one of them will actually be your candle, you know?
Mm-hmm. But then once that one gets low, I can switch it to another one?
Yeah, you can always switch it to another one, but you'd have to
Nice.
switch it every single time.
Every 24 hours. Okay, the first hour of each day, that's whenever I'm going to go switch my candle. I'm going to go to my warehouse, I'm going to switch my candle.
Personally, I'd switch every 12 hours.
Oh,
Just to
yeah,
be
you're right.
safe.
Just to be safe.
Because it runs out after 24 hours.
You know, I wouldn't even do 12. I wouldn't do 12 hours. I would do like 16 hours. No, that would be weird though, because you'd have a weird schedule then. So 12 hours is probably the best.
Okay. Final permutation. You have a candle. That candle is stuck in one place of your choosing, and it runs out every 2 hours.
Oh!
You still have 3 wishes. What
Okay.
is your plan?
Stuck in one place of my choosing.
The candle is stuck in my flesh.
Okay.
I wish to be
Okay.
fireproof.
I feel like that would cause quite a bit of damage, and how would you replace it?
And also, if
I just light it again.
The wax.
the wax burns down.
And
So I just rip it out and replace it.
but
Or maybe my finger is like a candle holder or something, and I've got the candle just stuck on it constantly.
There's so many things wrong with this, Logan.
what if it tilts over? Fire can't work upside down. Where would you even put it on your body? On your shoulder? On your head?
My hair is the candle now.
I feel like that is
Okay.
terrible logistical.
Okay, I think what Logan is saying is that he would wish to become a human candle.
Yes, he just replaces himself every 2 hours. That's an interesting idea. Fascinating thought. I honestly think there's some merit to it. The issue is, I did say realistic genie lamp, which means you have to make things that are actually possible. And becoming a candle person doesn't exactly... It's something I'm working
It does
on,
not
but
check those boxes.
I do think it's fascinating, though, just swapping your body every 2 hours. Taking the whole candle is your life thing literally, though.
Well, I mean, if the fire is like his consciousness or his soul or whatever, he could just steal other people's bodies.
Ah, yes, I am now rampant.
I don't think we should advocate for murdering people with fire.
Arson!
No, that's not even arson. That's just manslaughter. In fact, that's
Yeah.
just murder.
Actually, it's murder. not
Literally,
man-
arson!
It's not arson. Arson is the
This is I'm not burying their house now while I'm at it.
arson is the
Okay.
intentional burning of property, not
I
of
don't think you're
people.
doing this to live. I think you're just doing this for fun at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other?
Yeah, I have what I would do. So what I would do is I would have the candle like on my bedside table or whatever. I have to light it every 2 hours, so I would just be like some like YouTuber kind of thing or whatever. And I just sit in my room and play video games for money all day or something.
Man,
Or
you have
like,
3 wishes, so you can just wish for like a really, really good paying job. You can work from
oh
home.
wait, no, I can just. Okay, my 3 wishes. I wish for a Google of money, of dollar.
Okay, you're gonna collapse the world economy.
Yes.
I love
I
it.
don't think is that classified as realistic? I mean, it's realistic, I guess.
It's a
Yeah.
real number. It counts.
It's a real number. I get that, but also like having that much might be considered unrealistic. But I think it's realistic. The issue is, I feel like the taxes on that.
90% of it would be gone.
Yeah,
Okay, you know what? You know what? I wish for $1 trillion plus whatever dollars that would be taken off from tax so that I have $1 trillion at the end of it.
okay.
And then I wish for hmm, then I wish for a paying job where all I have to do is like write 2 sentences every actually you know what? I wish to be the CEO of Microsoft.
Okay.
And then I wish hmm, wishing to be able to conjure flame would not be realistic.
It would not.
Um
You could wish for a flamethrower,
Can
but
I wish for a lighter with near infinite lighter fluid?
no, because how would near infinite lighter fluid take up the small space of a lighter? You could wish for near
Right.
infinite. You could wish for like a large amount of lighter fluid to be delivered to your
Can
doorstep.
I wish for a lighter that comes with a warehouse with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of lighter fluid?
Maybe just wish for the warehouse lighter fluid. And a lighter is not that expensive.
Right. I wish for a warehouse full of 1 trillion metric tons of lighter fluid. That's too much.
I feel like that's a fire hazard waiting to happen.
We're gonna go with 1 million metric tons.
I
That's still a lot.
I would specify a proper safe warehouse.
Yeah. I want a warehouse with all of the newest, highest tech, perfect safety measures against fire stuff.
Perfect isn't realistic.
You know what I mean.
I get it.
and I want it to be filled with 1 million metric tons of lighter fluid.
Good enough.
And I'll just drive to that where I'll just keep like.
I still think you could
Okay.
probably just buy lighter fluid with $1 trillion.
No, I want to use $1 trillion for other things, like paying
Yeah.
paying a personal servant to like go get me food so that I don't have to leave my candle.
Now,
'cause my
here's
candle is my
Buy
life.
Nintendo.
Yeah, you could probably buy at least 2 Nintendo Switch 2s with that money.
With $1 trillion.
Yeah, at least 2. Maybe 1, depending on to change the price. But me personally, what I'd do? First wish, a measly $1 billion. I could probably make a good living off of just investing that. Because I don't care how bad I am at investing. With $1 billion, I can make it work. I can even hire someone to do it for me. And then, a fully functioning, state-of-the-art robotic arm. And finally, mastery at coding. That
I know
way,
where you're going with this.
I can just like have a backlog of candles. In fact, I would choose where my candle is to be in a nearby warehouse that I'd buy or build, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have the robotic arm set up right next to it. I would just have the robotic arm replace the candles every 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's it. Like, I'd hire someone to supervise it, make sure nothing goes wrong. There's nothing in this thing that says I specifically have to swap it out. It just has to be swapped out every 2 hours. So, easy winnings. I just get $1 billion and I don't have much to worry about. The only issue is if like a tornado hits the area or like a fire goes through it and
You're
ruins the
cooked.
stuff. Yeah, no, I am. Well, yeah, I'm literally cooked by the flame. I would have to choose the area specifically somewhere where natural disasters won't happen too often, or do it like underground and make it really earthquake proof.
Which is going to be really, really hard. And
But it's probably easier than making it other place proof because you're going to have to make earthquake proof no matter what. So I think, yeah, that's probably the best idea. But I do like your idea of just sitting at home and doing nothing all day.
Yeah, just playing video games, typing an email every once in a while as my job.
And also the idea of welding it to your flesh. I think that's also a very fascinating idea that might work if, the laws of everything didn't exist.
Let's break the laws of reality.
Sadly, it's a realistic genie. Don't want us to have fun.
What's the genie's name?
Frederick. Anyways, for our last
Friedrich
and
Nietzsche?
final hypothetical situation, you are given a superpower, but 100 random, healthy, and capable people are also given minor powers and are out to kill you. What is your plan?
Okay, first question. What do minor powers entail?
Minor powers are things like aspect of bear, where they get like some strength and movement speed because bears are like that, or minor fire manipulation, where they have like a small blowtorch attached to them or something, or minor like let's say minor flight, where they can hover above the ground for a bit and move fast.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is our power minor or is it like major?
The power is chosen by you. For this first round, no restrictions.
Okay.
But don't choose omnipotence because that's boring.
Can I just choose invisibility?
Yes, you can choose invisibility.
They wouldn't be able to see me. Unless one of them is like somehow like,
Here's the issue. Would you be invisible like 24/7?
yeah, I just steal stuff. No one can catch me.
Okay.
Sorry, ethics, but I'm out from. I need my life.
Your family, your friends, your loved ones, just
Sorry, guys.
Nothing
I gotta
serious.
run from these like 100 people trying to kill me.
okay.
So
I'll
quick,
route you guys like $1 million.
Unironically, I think that's probably the most ethical way to do it because my method is choosing a really lethal superpower and just killing those 100 people.
Okay.
quick question.
Yes.
So what names do they know their target by?
They
Like,
know.
how do they know their target?
They know you. They know your home address. They know your exact coordinate location every 24 hours. So they don't know like a 100% fully updated thing, but they get your exact coordinate location at 0 o'clock every day.
I have a question.
Yes.
If they have my home address, doesn't that mean they could threaten my family?
They could, yes.
Are they going to?
It depends on the 100 randomly selected healthy and capable people.
All right. What if you are completely undocumented?
That's not possible.
Remove all
You
record of yourself.
you are
You can't remove all records.
You
of
have a
yourself.
home address.
Why do you choose the power of anonymity?
That's not a power.
Okay. Define that power.
Becoming completely unknowable. Just nothing about you exists.
So you become like an anti-meme. As in something that cannot be known, and if you know it, you just immediately forget or something really bad happens.
I feel like this is like omnipotence. It's too boring.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Even if you become that, they can still know what you are by what you aren't, right? So they know you're not at this location. They can't know that you are at this location, but they know that you aren't at this location. So if they can't tell if someone isn't their target, then they know that is their target, right? So I feel like if they're smart enough, they would be able to figure it out.
Again, it depends on the 100 people that you get.
Yeah. And also, all this is assuming there aren't all grandmas who just die within a few days.
That would not be healthy, able people.
I mean, they're healthy.
Are they able?
Capable is the term. And I mean, grandmas have killed multiple people.
That's fair.
Have you seen some drivers?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I feel like it mostly means actually fit people who would be able to, like, on an average day, kill someone in one-on-one combat. So I think, like, anonymity is an interesting power. I feel like it leaves too much up to chance and also interacts with your life too much. Me personally, I would have to choose something flashy, such as, let's say, energy manipulation. Because think about it, they're all have minor powers, it is unlikely that they're going to be able to kill me, like, unless they get to drop on me, right? So as long as I can like manipulate, let's say by energy manipulation, I mean be able to manipulate like solid energy, like laser beams, right? I could coat myself in that and then just go on with my life. They can't attack me since any attacks they would have likely wouldn't be able to get through there. And I'd be able to pick them off one by one. Another really interesting idea, just choose something like omniscience, but like, not omniscience, but some kind of search ability where you can just search for people based off statistics. So you'd be able to tell if anyone's rapidly closing on your location and then just shoot them. Because really, the best superpower is America.
If I were to pick something like that, then it would be force manipulation and generation, because think of how overpowered that could be. Manipulate gravity, you can fly. Manipulate electromagnetism, you can phase through objects. Manipulate friction, you can slide across nice rocky spikes.
Manipulating electromagnetism does not allow you to
It-
phase through objects.
Electromagnetism is basically the only thing keeping us from falling through the floor, though, so.
No, it's not. Electromagnetism would be light and magnetic energy, which gravity, which keeps things together, is not those.
I have evidence to back me up. I just don't think it's worth going into right now. You could also just make a bunch. You could also basically use magic by generating force.
Okay, well, I have evidence to back me up that electromagnetism doesn't allow you to do that as well. So,
Regardless,
I wasn't.
I mean, it makes sense. Maybe not like specifically electromagnetism, but if you can manipulate forces, you can get rid of the force that pushes back on you when you push on things. So theoretically,
right, but then theoretically you're just moving atoms around.
yeah.
Which
So,
works.
you'd be able to
Gravity
go
and
through
telekinesis. No, you basically gain telekinesis. It is a very
Hey,
cheatery thing.
Right, but
That is
which
the
which
force.
forces are you manipulating?
Force in general, I guess.
Like the fundamental universal forces, like gravity and electromagnetism?
Pretty much, yeah. But anything that counts as a force, you can manipulate.
That seems way too broad.
It is. It very much is.
I did say there weren't any restrictions.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, for the second category, I have 5 superpowers right here. We have to choose between them. All right?
Okay.
Ability 1, gravity control. Manipulate gravity to lift objects or create gravitational fields. Twilight manipulation. Control over time and day, known as twilight, affecting light levels and perception. Chronokinesis. Ability to control the flow of time. Ethereal echo. Bend the fabric of reality to echo attacks back at foes. And molecular manipulation. Control molecules to reshape matter and disintegrate objects. Some of these seem stronger than the other ones.
What was the first one?
Gravity control.
What's the ethereal echo one do again? You can manipulate reality?
It just says to echo attacks back at foes. So it seems like it's more so just if you get hit, you send the attack straight back at them.
Okay, so that one's not very cool. What was the last one?
You can control molecules to reshape matter and disintegrate objects.
I would do that.
I feel like that's probably the best one.
I would
Except,
just use it
I
to
would go
kill
with
them all.
time.
I'd probably go with the chronokinesis too, because think about it. They stab you.
Rewind
5
time.
seconds.
I would just get the molecular disintegration one and then kill them all.
But the
How
thing
about
is,
this?
I feel like you have to touch
You make
them.
them never exist.
It didn't say you had to touch them.
It says control molecules, reshape matter, and disintegrate objects. I feel like to be able to control them, you have to be really, really close. I feel like you
Okay.
can't just reshape the sun. There's
I don't mean
limits.
that. I mean, like, when they come for me, I
know.
just kill them.
But I feel like some of them might have abilities that can work at a further range than that, assuming that
Right, well, I can just disintegrate something and put it back together in front of me to stop whatever they throw at me.
but can you be that fast? How fast can you really make the molecules move?
Well,
The
theoretically,
power is vague.
if I can manipulate molecules, I can manipulate the molecules in my own brain to make my brain extremely fast.
Are you a neurosurgeon enough to be able to confidently do that? No. I'm sorry, but even if you can manipulate molecules, you don't know how to manipulate them. Making simple like elements are probably easy enough, but being able to confidently like manipulate your brain to increase the chemical conductivity of it or something, I don't think that's viable.
Right, back to the question of
With
speed though. If they're far away enough away that I can't do something to them, they're far enough away that I can put something in front of myself fast enough.
Yeah, I feel like that's reasonable, assuming that they don't just have a sniper rifle.
Well, if they have a sniper rifle, I just, get hit and then reshape myself to be fine.
Once again, I'm not sure.
Once again, if I get shot, depending on where they shoot me, I could do it.
No, I'm saying I'm not sure if you like hand surgeons are like super subspecialized. They have to spend a long time learning just about the hand to be able to actually, mess with it.
Right, that's because the hand is more complicated. If I
Yeah.
get shot in the shoulder, it's not going to be that hard to fix.
But even then, like, I just feel like
Besides, then I don't even need to manipulate it to like heal myself. All I need to do is manipulate the bullet out of me and manipulate the flesh unless the bullet goes all the way through. If it doesn't break bone, it's going to be easy. I just manipulate the skin to close and let it heal.
Yeah.
But
the
if
issue
it
is, since you're
hits bone,
controlling molecules, I feel like it'd be difficult to do that. But I feel like if you can close the blood vessels and then close the skin, your body can probably heal it. You're still going to be hurt, but you could probably survive it.
it'll be like splinching in Harry Potter. You just close the skin and the underneath while still like
All
not
this is
healthy.
assuming they don't just get a headshot.
Right. If I get headshot, I'm cooked.
You'd probably just have to manipulate like some iron to be coated around your skin.
Although
or something.
to be fair, if you get headshot, you're not going to be able to use chronic time. You're not going to be able to.
Agreed.
Chronokinesis.
But the idea is, I feel like chronokinesis is the most useful in day-to-day life. And also, I could theoretically like teleport because its ability to control the flow of time. I'm assuming that means you can only speed it up or slow it down.
Does that mean you can change it for different people?
I'm assuming
Theoretically, yes.
you could change it in different areas, presumably.
So, like, if I was in like whatever time, like Central Standard Time Zone, like we're in right now, I could change it to flow differently from the other time zones.
I mean, you can change it in a specific area, I presume. Because I'm assuming what it means is you can only speed up and slow down. You can't change time. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I feel like your best... And I'm assuming it allows it in specific areas, not just in general. Because if that's the case, you could theoretically make a bubble around you of slowed down time that doesn't include you, so that anything that is going to hit you would be extremely slowed down. And you have enough time to react, to move out of the way, or to, like, reverse time so you don't actually get shot at.
Yeah, Logan, it's like cadmium in Mistborn or whatever.
Yeah.
The one that makes time slow down in a bubble around you.
Yeah. I do think, though, couldn't you just age them? Or reverse their aging so that they never existed? Like,
That's
make them
assuming
infinitely
that
young,
you
make them
have
infinitely
them in your
old.
grasps, and also that they haven't already shot you. Like, I agree, both of them can kill the other person pretty easily, or at least allow you to kill the other person pretty easily, but it's more so the ability to protect yourself from the others.
Also, what was that Twilight one?
Control over the time of day, known as twilight, affecting light levels and perception.
That could actually...
You could
That would be good for, like, evasion. I don't know
Yeah.
much
you could
about,
just
like,
make
actually
it
protecting
never
yourself.
change the time of day. You could just keep the time of day the same.
How does it help you, though?
Constantly. So that they never get updates to your location.
But time still goes. It's the time of day that stays, like where the sun is and the moon, right?
Or where the Earth is in relation to the sun.
So I feel like that wouldn't
But also,
Stop
if you
updates.
can affect the time of day like that, you can essentially screw up galactic things.
I'm assuming it's not going to cause those issues. I'm assuming. But yeah, I feel like chronokinesis and molecular manipulation are probably the only two that are viable. Gravity control is interesting, but eh.
Theoretically, you could just have a field of gravity around you that's pushing things away from you all the time.
I feel like
But that would be inconvenient.
ruin your furniture, man.
Yes.
I do feel like most useful outside of the actual fight. Or like, because of course the 100 people are going to be concerned, right? 100 people out to kill you is big thing. But outside of that, being able to manipulate materials, if you get really good at that, that could be a really, really good job. And being able to control time, I mean, that's just infinite money if you go gambling. Of course, everything comes back down to money. But yeah, I think those are the best ones, and I think you could probably survive 100 people with those.
Yeah.
So
Any other variations?
no, that's all. That's the last hypothetical situation. And this has been an episode of The Podcast.
A totally human experience.
If you like this episode, please watch out for any further episodes. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want. Have a good day.